An Oklahoma band director now behind bars, a cartoon creator passes away, and a historic space landing. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for joining us for OU Nightly. I'm Kelsey Hovanetz.
And I'm Cal Day. We begin tonight with an update on an Oklahoma assistant band director who is charged with 15 counts of child sexual abuse. 41-year-old Warren D. Hitchcock appeared in Lincoln County Court Monday confessing to sexual abuse of a teenager, which continued for almost 5 years. Court documents show the female victim was abused twice a month from age 13 to just days before her 18th birthday.
Documents state that there was also another unnamed woman at the home involved in initial sexual abuse. Hitchcock will appear in court January 3rd at 1:30.
Arguments about Native American reservations being dissolved when Oklahoma became a state are sparking up again. Now, a federal court already answered no and said reservations still exist here, but today it was the turn of the United States Supreme Court to consider that question. Its answer could reshape the relationship between the state of Oklahoma and Native American tribes. OU Nightly's Storme Jones was in the courtroom and has more on the case of Carpenter versus Murphy.
The basic question before the court is, are Native American tribes in Oklahoma still sovereign nations, as outlined for the Muskogee Creek Nation in an 1866 treaty? Muskogee Creek citizen Patrick Murphy was convicted of murdering another Muskogee Creek citizen on tribal lands in 1999 and sentenced to death by a state court. Murphy contends the case should have been tried in federal court. Lisa Blatt, representing the state, sparred with Justices Kagan and Sotomayor. What was the exact date the tribe's sovereignty ended, asked Sotomayor. We don't have to give you a date. Rome didn't fall in a day, Blatt responded. Outside the court, Oklahoma Attorney General Mike Hunter said overturning the conviction would be a misstep by the court.
The uncertainty that it would create with regard to state prosecutions, convictions, finality, the parties that are affected by crimes is certainly something that we are deeply concerned about.
Muskogee Creek Nation Principal Chief James Floyd says the state over-exaggerated potential outcomes if the court sides with Murphy.
We have sovereignty. We have a reservation that was never diminished or taken away.
The state of Oklahoma argues ruling in favor of Murphy could change everything for Native Americans in the state. As for Murphy, the outcome of the case could mean the difference between life and death. Storme Jones, Gaylord News, Washington.
That's right, Storme and the rest of the Gaylord News team will continue to follow this story from the nation's capital.
And Mexico is taking action in response to the migrant crisis at the border, after U.S. Border Patrol agents fired tear gas at hundreds of people attempting to cross the border. The Border Patrol defended its actions, saying some migrants threw rocks at agents, causing them to respond with force to protect themselves. The Mexican government says 98 migrants will be deported from its country following the weekend clash. And it's unclear what's next for those still seeking asylum in the U.S.
To be completely frank, there were numerous people that actually made it across the border.
President Trump says anyone entering the country illegally will be arrested and deported, even if they're claiming asylum.
Well, it's been nearly a month since the White House has done a briefing, and Brooke Murski joins us in the News Center with more news on Washington. Brooke.
Thanks, Cal. Special Counsel Robert Mueller's team is investigating a meeting between Paul Manafort and Ecuadorian President Lenin Moreno in 2017. This month, AP reported that Moreno publicly acknowledged meeting with the former Trump campaign chairman. Also today, prosecutors are looking into meetings with WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange at the Ecuadorian embassy in London. The Guardian announced Manafort met several times with Assange, the latest being in 2016. Manafort has rejected these claims, but is being accused of breaching his plea agreement signed 2 months ago. And Donald Trump is now threatening to cut all government subsidies for General Motors. Yesterday, the president said he was disappointed in GM's decision to close plants and cut thousands of jobs.
This is not about the president. It's about the fact that they're making a car, frankly, that people don't want to buy. And hopefully they will make adjustments and make changes and bring those workers back.
The announcement to cut 14,000 jobs and shut down 5 facilities in North America is part of GM's plan to prepare the company for the future of driverless and electric vehicles. Trump demanded GM reverse its decision. The loss of automaking jobs, especially in the Midwest, goes against Trump's campaign promise to bring about manufacturing rebirth. And if you have peanut allergies, there might be hope for a treatment in the future. Research conducted across 10 countries studied more than 500 participants with peanut allergies ages 4 to 55. The participants were given peanut powder-filled capsules, gradually exposing them to the allergens. After a year of experimentation, 2/3 of the remaining participants tolerated eating 2 peanuts without a severe reaction. Experts warn that this isn't a cure but can increase tolerance against peanut allergies. And Kelsey, CNN is reporting that Trump's disapproval rate now stands at 60%.
Thank you, Brooke. Well, 3 Dallas firefighters are being treated for injuries after they were trapped in a massive condo fire. The firefighters were among more than 100 called to battle a large 4-alarm fire around 9:30 this morning at the 3-story Cambridge Park condominiums located in North Dallas. As the flames grew, a mayday call was received from 3 firefighters trapped on the 2nd floor after the roof collapsed. One resident was also hospitalized for smoke inhalation. The good news, the firefighters' injuries are not considered life-threatening.
Nearly 40 line crew members with OG&E are hitting the highway and heading to Chicago. A massive blizzard left thousands without power, and the Oklahoma electric crews will help get the lights back on. Crews will arrive at the staging area this evening and plan to start work on Wednesday. OG&E says it's always thankful for the help from other states when strong storms hit Oklahoma, and the company is happy to return the favor. And Kelsey, while there's a blizzard in Chicago, it's just chilly here.
Yeah, student meteorologist Trey Bell has more on if the cold is here to stick around. Trey.
Yeah, guys, actually for the remainder of this week, we will have a slow warm-up. So as from this weekend, temperatures have warmed slightly, and they will continue to do so. Temperatures outside right now, 51 degrees here in Norman, but off to the northeast towards Chicago and where that blizzard has taken place, temperatures are in the teens. Wind chills are even colder in Kansas City, a wind chill of 19 degrees. And cold air is on the way, but not until next week. So a slower warm-up, rain on Friday night, and like I said, cold air returns on Monday. Back to you guys at the desk.
All right, thank you very much, Trey. Well, a cartoon legend passes away. Coming up, we take a look at the Oklahoma native's legacy.
Plus, NASA scientists are exploring something out of this world when OU Nightly continues. OU Nightly, SpongeBob SquarePants creator Steven Hillenburg passed away this morning. The Oklahoma native suffered from ALS. He announced he had the disease last year. Hillenburg was born in Lawton. His father was stationed at Fort Sill at the time. He studied marine biology at Humboldt State University, then switched to fine arts, earning a master's degree in animation. Hillenburg conceived, wrote, produced, and directed the animated series that began in 1999. His death comes just weeks after the passing of another cartoon hero, Marvel creator Stan Lee. Steven Hillenburg was 57 years old.
And there might just be a new heavyweight in the game. Sammi Steele joins us now in the tech and science franchise with the latest details on the historic market change.
Cal, Apple's reign as the world's most valuable company might be in jeopardy. Today, Microsoft briefly claimed the title after its market cap surpassed its tech rival, Apple. The two have been neck and neck as Apple stocks have seen recent plunging. According to Bloomberg, at the open this morning, Microsoft climbed to $812.93 billion versus Apple at $812.60 billion. But the lead did not last long as Apple reclaimed the title by closing this evening. Even so, Microsoft analysts say this is the first time in 2 decades that the company is on the right side of the regulatory discussion, which was first passed by Apple in 2010. Microsoft has made a years-long bet on cloud computing, which has positioned the company as one of the 2 dominant players, along with Amazon in a fast-growing market. In fact, the company propelled to its first $100 billion sales this year. And yesterday, NASA engineers had lots to celebrate about with the successful landing of NASA's InSight on Mars. NASA called the historic robotically guided landing on Mars 7 minutes of terror. Why? Because in less time than it takes to hard-boil an egg, InSight slowed from 12,300 miles per hour to 5 miles per hour before gently landing on the surface of Mars.
I was terrified. All the things that could go wrong. And we've been practicing this, and we've been training, and we've been thinking about it. And It was just an amazing experience.
And the culmination of all that time and having everything go right and all the work that's gone into it, all the testing, and to know just how precarious it really is and how big of a challenge it is and how the team just made it look so easy.
Here's the first image taken by InSight on Mars. The black specks are dust and will be removed this week. To reach Mars, InSight cruised more than 301 million miles through space and was followed by 2 CubeSat satellites. The suitcase-sized spacecraft called Marco are the first CubeSat satellites to fly into deep space. NASA's Interior Explorer will use seismic investigations, geodesy, and heat transport, which will all help to explore the deep interior of Mars that scientists know little to nothing about. But InSight's 2-year science mission won't start right away. NASA says it will take 2 to 3 months for the robotic arms to place on the mission's instrument on the surface, but I still think that's really exciting. In the meantime, scientists are photographing what can be seen from the lander's perspective and monitoring the environment around, but the science, the data that they're going to be looking at won't be here until March.
Well, yeah, that's understandable. This is a really cool mission to see everybody jump up and down and get all excited about it.
We are living in the midst of history right now.
I wonder if they're going to find life on Mars. That's when it's going to get really
You never
interesting.
know.
You never know. I'm a conspiracy theorist guy. You just never know. Well, thank you very much, Sammi.
Yeah.
And a new agreement gives Oklahoma Pike Pass users more access. Coming up, we tell you where you can benefit from it.
And meteorologist Trey is here with your extended forecast.
Yeah, guys, a warm-up is on the way, but so is rain for this weekend. I'll have that and more coming up in Maine weather. Hey guys, welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Trey Bell. Here is a view of downtown Norman. Wonderful view as the sun begins to set this evening, and then it is 51 degrees, so we're beginning to cool down for the evening. Full skies, full sunshine, until that sun sets tonight. Winds are light out of the east-northeast with a dew point of 28, so it is also very dry, which is going to allow our temperatures to drop to at or just below freezing tonight. More on that in just a second. So we do have rain chances later in this week. Here's tomorrow evening. Starting tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock, clouds will begin to build slightly throughout the day on Thursday. And then as we continue to head into Friday, heading into Friday evening, early Saturday morning, showers and thunderstorms will develop in the east. May have a few showers in central Oklahoma, but I'm not expecting any widespread rainfall. And by the time we're waking up Saturday, we're waking up to sunshine because it is all out of here. It moves off to our east and we see it no longer. So moving forward through looking back over November, over the first 27 days of November, it has been a roller coaster. 2 massive cool downs. Those have been caused by very powerful cold fronts that have moved through, and so it's just a great representation of the roller coaster of temperatures we've had over the month. And we did rank number 8 in the top 10 coldest Novembers in Oklahoma dating back to 1890. These are the top 10 years, and 2018 landed at number 8. So for the remainder of this week, if you're putting up your Christmas lights on your house or wherever in your business, if you're putting up Christmas lights, these are the conditions for those days. So the yellow indicates a day you might want to use some caution if you're putting up Christmas lights. Winds will be a little higher and rain chances also exist on Friday, but the remainder of the week looks great, looks wonderful for putting up Christmas lights. And through the remainder of this evening, dropping into the 30s, lows tonight, tomorrow morning, 34 degrees. Day planner tomorrow warming into the 50s. Highs tomorrow in the 50s and 60s across the state, and then that 2-day forecast. So continuing our warm up, and then the remaining 7 days, another cool down on the way for Sunday and slight rain chances on Friday evening and Monday. So guys, beautiful weather is in store.
Thank you, Trey. Well, Oklahoma drivers with the Pike Pass will now be able to use them in more areas of Texas. The Turnpike Authority announced an agreement with 2 agencies in the Houston and Austin areas, and Pike Passes can now be used to pay for travel on more Texas tollways. Oklahoma officials hope to expand the Pike Pass to more toll authorities in the Houston and Austin areas next year.
And Sydney Forsee joins us now as the Red River rematch inches closer.
Cal, coming up, we hear from a linebacker who had a memorable play in last year's title game, plus a primetime matchup between 2 division foes. Sports is next. Welcome back. Last year's Big 12 championship was a blowout win over TCU, but one of the most memorable plays didn't come from the offense. Linebacker Caleb Kelly helped rack up points against the Horned Frogs with a defensive touchdown of his own. The Sooners hope he can do it again this week, just like he did Friday night in Morgantown. This time Kelly got the sack, the strip, the scoop, and the score. It's a skill he works on all the time.
Every day I like to get at least one strip or two strips in practice, just getting the ball on the ground, and so it carried over into the game. And so as long as I continue to just relax and have fun playing football, I feel like I'll continue to grow and just learn in the game and just have fun doing it.
When we moved him back to second string, you know, he didn't pout about it. You know, he continued to fight, worked even harder in practice. I think it kind of relit that fire under him a little bit, which has always been important to him as a player.
But can Kelly help his team this weekend against Texas? Parker Thune has more on that anticipated game this weekend. Parker?
Yeah, Sydney, there's no two ways about it. This weekend marks a pivotal moment in the history of the Red River rivalry. The Longhorns and Sooners haven't met twice in the same season since 1903, and now their first grudge match in the modern era comes with a conference title on the line. And we know that these two teams absolutely hate each other, but the vitriol reached new heights this week after the Longhorns brought in former Kansas head coach David Beatty to help with their game plan against the Sooners. Needless to say, Lincoln Riley's not a fan.
Coach Beatty can do what he wants to do. I mean, I don't like the precedent of it, of being able to bring in somebody from a league in the same year. I don't think that's good for the conference, but it's not against the rules, and if they want to do it, that's fine.
Now, ethics aside, the Longhorns are going to need all the help they can get to slow down Kyler Murray and company. This OU offense is one of the most prolific units in college football history, and should the Sooners avenge their only loss of the season, it'll be tough to deny them a spot in the college football playoff. Sydney, back to you.
Thanks, Parker. And is Texas back? That's still to be determined, but their former head coach is. Mack Brown was introduced as the new head coach of UNC. Brown was most recently a college football analyst and last coached at Texas in 2013. And Mack isn't the only thing leaving Texas. The Mean Green go head-to-head with the OU men's basketball team tonight at Lloyd Noble. The Sooners have won 5 of their last 6 games and hope to add another win under their belt tonight. And rewinding to last night, the Warriors had a neck-and-neck game against the Orlando Magic. Hate to say this, Thunder fans, but Kevin Durant saved the day after hitting a late 3, which solidified the win for the Golden State. Hey, at least OKC won their last matchup against KD. And one of the NFL's hottest teams continues to roll. In an AFC South showdown, the Texans roughed up Tennessee 34-17. Houston now has an 8-game winning streak and will face Baker Mayfield and the Browns next week. Well, guys, I don't know about you, but all the other games happening this week just kind of pale in comparison to the upcoming OU-Texas matchup.
I'm super excited for that one. I bought my ticket this morning. Really can't wait.
Yeah, mine's standing room only, but it's worth it. OU-Texas twice. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, I know. It's never happened before where they go against each other for the Big 12, but I think it's going to be an awesome game. And you just reminded me I have to go buy my tickets after this.
That's right.
Super excited.
Great
Thank you, guys.
too. Good luck. Thank you. And the Christmas season is now in full swing.
Coming up, we'll tell you how you can spread some holiday cheer when OU Nightly continues.
Candace Coonrod at the Update Desk. Governor-elect Kevin Stitt filled 2 key positions in his new administration. Tulsa Deputy Mayor Michael Junk will serve as his chief of staff, and former Republican State Representative Michael Rogers will be the next Secretary of State. Junk is a veteran U.S. Senate staffer, and Rogers served 2 terms in the State House and chaired the House Education Committee this year. Both men are from the Tulsa area. Reports of an active shooter at the nation's largest military medical center have been ruled out. A Pentagon official confirmed the situation at Walter Reed Medical Center in Maryland was part of an exercise. Back to you, Cal and Kelsey.
Thanks, Candace. Well, if you didn't take advantage of Cyber Monday yesterday, you still have time to tackle your holiday shopping list while also participating in Giving Tuesday.
The Main District in Norman is hosting a holiday open house today from 10 to 6 and will have holiday deals across the board. Partnered with Norman Public Schools, the event's goal is to stock the bus, a collaboration of donations to support children in need. The Main District is looking for non-perishables such as hygiene items such as clothing and anything that could help make a children's Christmas special.
Donations can be dropped off at any of the participating businesses where you can also find wish lists.
That's right. Christmas now less than a month away. Trey, there's still plenty of time to put up those Christmas lights if you have to do it though.
For sure, yeah. I mean, if you're looking for time to do it, this week is definitely the time. We've got beautiful weather on the way, and this graphic here shows the breakdown over the next 4 days. And so Friday, you might want to be a little bit cautious. Winds will be a little higher, and we do have that rain chance in the evening. But for the rest of the week, I mean, honestly, it's going to be beautiful weather. Definitely get outside.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Trey. And thank you for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night, live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.